You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
Okay, so you're welcome to your authentic and number one program on tourism and agriculture. It's Green Nigeria Radio Show, and today we are out in the fields, as you can see, and we are here with a farmer, and we don't know if we should say he's practicing subsistent farming or he's actually a professional farmer, because we can see that he has a very large farm here, and we'll be asking him some basic questions like when he started and how has the journey been in farming as a young man, as a youth, and what are the challenges, what has been the challenges, and what can be done to make him sustain his space and perhaps develop into a bigger and a more effective farm and farm produce at the end of the day. So we'll be talking to Mr. Geoffrey Otese, who is a farmer right here in the FCT, and I understand Mr. Geoffrey has farms across the nation, in Ondo State, in Benue State, and several states across Nigeria. He'll be giving us detail on that shortly after this break. Once again, it's Green Nigeria Radio Show, and it's about tourism, agriculture, progress. My name is Meshach Yager. We'll go on this quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
You're welcome to Flashpoint Energy, a home of clean energy. Please, how may I help you?
Flashpoint Energy.
We are your permanent solution out of darkness and uncertain power supply.
Thinking power,
Think Flashpoint Energy
clean energy.
for a better tomorrow.
Flashpoint Energy.
Thinking of a clean energy for a better tomorrow? Think Flashpoint Energy.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Geoffrey, you're welcome to Green Nigeria Radio Show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Okay. So I understand this is your farmland.
Yes.
You have a mixed cropping here. You have cassava. I can see okra. I can see
Sweet potatoes.
maize, sweet potatoes, cassava, and how has it been generally in farming?
Farming has been very interesting. I actually love farming because it is what I love enjoying. Because it's something that I've been growing up with since I was born.
Okay.
It has been nice. It has been solving a lot of problems for me, including the food scarcity that is bothering many people. As for me and my family and some of my loved ones, I don't think we have any challenge of feeding. So it has been very, very interesting.
Okay. For how long have you been farming?
Just as our area says, since I was born. You know, I'm originally from Benue State, okay. And we know that we are the food basket of the nation.
Okay.
And anybody from that state that is serious do train their children in farming. Okay. Although even though I left the place, but because it's something that has been part of me, I don't want to abandon it at all.
You brought it to the FCT.
Yes.
Okay. So your farm work, is it for the consumption of you and your family and perhaps extended family, or you do it as a business? You export out of everywhere. In FCT right now is a farmland in Army Housing Estate Kurudu, and do you do this farm work for sales as well, or is just for household consumption?
I can say that I used to practice both. I practice both commercial farming and subsistence farming.
Okay.
And now in FCT where we are,
Okay.
due to land scarcity where in the area where I'm residing now.
Okay.
I do practice subsistence agriculture, which is the type of farming that I can take care of me and my family. But in other states like in Akure, in my state, Benue State, there I do practice commercial agriculture. I do farm rice. I'm into rice farming.
Okay.
I farm rice over 3 hectares, 4 hectares, 5 hectares. And then in my state, I practice cassava in a very large quantity.
Okay.
So I can say both of them, I'm into it.
Okay, I will be asking you. You mentioned 3 hectares, 4 hectares of land in Akure and all that in terms of farming rice.
Yes.
When you do 3 hectares and 4, let's say 4 hectares, what output do you expect in terms of the bags, the paddy bags?
It depends on the way the farm have been taken care of.
Okay.
Like the last time I produced 3 hectares actually, and at the end of the day I got up to 70 something bags.
70 something bags.
Yes.
Can you be precise?
Yes, I got up to 76 bags.
76 bags.
Precisely.
Wow.
Yes.
And what was the cost of that? What's the cost of do you practice mechanized farming?
No.
Okay, so it's manually
It's
done.
manually.
So what's the cost of getting people who will do the farm, take care of it in terms of weeding it, applying fertilizer, pesticides and all that, and at the end of the day you harvest? Can you give us the total cost of everything?
You know, now chemicals, this herbicide is very costly in the market. So in terms of the seedling, the rice seedlings and the workers, including the people, the vehicle that I used to bring out the farm produce. I spent, when I calculated, I spent 1.5 million.
Including labor,
everything, including my transportation from here to that place, everything,
including all the months of taking care of the farm.
Exactly.
1.5 million.
1.5 million.
Okay, so with 76 bags of rice paddy.
Yes.
How much do you make per bag when you want to sell?
I sold, the last time I sold it 45,000 each bag, 45,000. Then when you multiply it by that 70 something bags, I make a good profit.
Okay, can you give us an estimate of how much profit, if it's possible right now?
75, that is 45,000 multiplied by 75 bags.
76 bags.
Yeah, 76 bags. Sorry, 76 bags. I got close to 3 million naira.
Okay.
I can't tell exactly.
You can't tell exact amount, okay, because you were also eating out of rice,
it, exactly.
And then you also
shares to friends and families.
Yeah, okay, this is what I have been able to get out of my farm.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I would also ask you, you are a good farmer, you do mixed cropping. What that means is that you can have more than one crop on the farmland.
Yes.
Okay, so you know the difference between the cassavas and what they stand for.
Yes.
I understand that the one that has the red stem is different from the one that has the green stem and all that. Can you share more light on this?
Yes, you know, cassava have different varieties.
Okay.
And all of them, they are actually good.
Okay.
You know, the reason why most of the time we mix varieties is because of lack of the cassava stem that we do plant.
Okay.
So most of the time FCT here is so cumbersome to get the variety that they want. So you do mix.
What variety is that?
Like what we call banana seed.
Okay.
Is the one that I prefer most because it have in the short time it produce bigger fruits,
wow,
bigger stems,
wow,
than other one. But in the situation whereby I didn't get them in the number that I want, I do mix them. But in fact, all of them, they are good because you can use them to produce gari. You can use them to also, if you want to produce akpu with it,
okay,
and then you can also use them to do cassava flour, and all of them, they are good for that.
So there's no difference. The one they say is for akpu, the one they say is for gari. It makes no difference.
It makes no difference.
It has no effect.
It have no effect when you process it.
Okay.
You can't even see the difference when you process it.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I would ask you, as a private agriculturist, of course you will have challenges.
Of course.
What are these challenges?
Of course. You know, in farming, especially in Nigeria here, is finance. Finance is one of the major the major challenges we have in farming. And because everything you need to either you are bringing somebody to assist you, or you need, even if you are you yourself that you are going to do the farm, you need money to feed yourself in the farming process. And secondly, the seedlings, like the rice that I just talked about. The rice cost me money, because to get seedling at that time, it wasn't easy at all. Most of the time we travel far places to go and get seedling. Don't be surprised. I was in Akure, I have to come back to Benue State to get a particular seed, rice seedling that I wanted. So
and money. You went from Akure, Ondo State, to
Benue State to get
seedlings
back to Akure,
where you harvest.
Yes,
cultivate.
Exactly. So those things cost us money. It costs us money.
So what you are saying is that if the government can provide seedlings, or if there are avenues where you can easily access seedlings in every state, so you don't have to travel from one end of the state to another end of another state.
Exactly. It will be easy for us.
Okay.
It will be very easy for us. And you know, the another thing is this herbicide.
Okay.
Herbicide is very costly. I don't know if the government can intervene. You
mean by in case a layman who is listening to us, herbicide is what you apply in your plant so that the weed will die away.
Yes, it's the chemical that
survive.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
So we're talking about herbicides.
Yes.
And pesticides and what have you. In a layman's term, what does that do?
Now, when you talk of herbicide, you are talking of the type of chemical that destroy grass in the farmland.
Okay.
And then when you talk of pesticides, they are the ones that handle insects, and those insects that come to destroy your crops.
Okay.
And that is their work in the farmland.
Okay, so getting these pesticides and herbicides is actually always a challenge.
Yes, it's always a challenge because they are very costly in the market. Like now, when you want to get a liter of one of the let it not serve as an advert to them, or one of the herbicide, it will cost you not less than 4,500.
Wow. And you need how many of those liters?
Like on a hectare of land, you can need like 24 liters. Yes.
Wow. So multiply and 4-5 times
that number,
24
you
liters.
know how much it will cost.
So our farming business is actually expensive but lucrative.
Very, very, very. Okay. Very expensive, but it's very lucrative.
Okay, so talking about farming all year round, you know, I understand that you can have mixed cropping, but you can also farm all year round by virtue of irrigation technology that allows you to water your farmland even when it is not raining season.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's possible. And by the grace of God, I have been into irrigational farming. Okay. But one of the challenges I do encounter mostly is finance. Okay. Because irrigational farming is a kind of farming that you spend a lot.
Okay.
You have to create way for water to be flowed into your farm. You have to be pumping water and making sure that these crops are being irrigated. Okay. So you actually need enough capital for you to be able to do that. And this is the area, most especially if government really want food supply to be enough in the country, this is the most area that you have to come in, because we eat all round. Everybody eat all round. You don't know the difference between farming season and rainy season. The only thing is the dry is the season. But in terms of eating, nobody knows the difference. So when we are farming continuously, there's going to be a continuous supply of food in the market. So if government can provide money for farmers to support them, those that are interested in irrigation, I believe that many people will key into it. It will not be only a seasonal farming that we will be practicing in Nigeria.
Okay.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
We've been speaking with Mr. Geoffrey Otese, and he's a farmer, an agriculturist, and he has been telling us a lot of things about his experience in farming and the challenges he has faced over the years as a farmer, and talking about pesticides and herbicides and mixed farming, talking about irrigation and the challenges and how government interventions can actually help cushion the effect of most of these challenges. Well, here on Green Nigeria Radio Show, we like to bring this topic so that we can proffer solutions and actually get the right persons in government to listen, or perhaps maybe the private sector, if you are well endowed financially and you can do something about agriculture and help food security, food sufficiency, why not? You can go into it listening to us. Now, talking about ways that we would like to proffer solution here on Green Nigeria Radio Show, we would like to advise the government to maybe, we are right now in Army Housing Estate Kurudu, and we are talking to, of course, a farmer here, and we can have farmlands, let's say 100,000 hectares of farmlands across different states, different directions in a state. And for example, we can have one in Karshi or have one in Kurudu, and the one in Karshi or Kurudu will help serve the whole of Nyanya, Maraba, Asokoro, Karo, Karshi, Kurudu, Pegi, and all those little drop of towns around. Okay, now you have another one in Gwarimpa, and that serves Kubwa, Dede, Buari, and what have you. Okay, you have another one in Gwagwalada, it serves Zuba and Dede, Madala, and you know, all the towns around there. And you have another one in Wuse, and just like that. Okay, or you can choose to have just one in FCT that serves the whole of FCT, and you make sure that the farm is big enough to serve the whole of FCT, and you make sure you put in a lot of power and energy to make sure it works. Okay, you do the follow-up you need and all the practices that you need, get all the advice you need from the practitioners, the businessmen in agribusiness, and the people who practice farming, who do farming practically every day. Get them involved and see how you can squash away food insufficiency and hunger. It is predicted that by 2030 there will be fierce hunger, scarcity of food. It's barely 2025, and see, we are buying one tuber of yam for 4,500 naira, some places 7,000 naira, just a tuber of yam. What you used to buy 5 to 10 tubers of yams just 2 years away. Okay, so the situation is getting tougher by the day. It has degenerated into the protest that we have now, and you know, the protest has escalated into burning, looting, and hoodlums, hijacking, and doing all manner of things, which we have advised on the program over and over again. We don't want bandits. We don't want hoodlums hijacking the protest. What the protesters are saying, which is genuine, is that the cost of living should be dropped. Okay, I understand that the government has distributed bags of rice over the country, and some state governors have come out to say we did not receive these bags of rice. I don't know, did you hear any story about the government giving bags of rice?
Not at all.
Okay.
I didn't hear any story, and I don't think it's for our governments to be giving us rice or food stocks. I don't think it's the right approach. Okay. Because you know, looking at the number of citizens in this country, okay, just imagine that if we're giving a truck of rice to a state, how many people can take even the mudu from there? And looking at the distance for them to come and collect the rice, some places they are living in other local government, for them to come and collect a mudu of rice, they will spend not less than 7,000 to come and collect a mudu of rice. And I don't think that will be possible. For me, my advice is, if government can empower people, if our government can empower people, there is a popular saying that teach us, don't give us a fish, but teach us how to fish. If we can go into farming by ourselves, I think food supply will not be an issue in our country at all. So the issue of government supplying food, actually, I don't know whether I'm not interested in collecting it, but I didn't even hear anybody receiving it close to me.
Okay.
Yes.
So what will be your final word, finally?
Thank you very much, sir. I encourage youth especially youth, I encourage them to go into farming. Farming is a very good business. It's a very good business. There are different kind of farming. You can go into poultry. You can go into fishery. You may not necessarily be going into a cross farming, but you can make money. So I encourage all the youths in our nation and everybody generally. If there is one way or the other, if you can support farming, support it, because if you have money and you do not have food, you have to go to market and buy it. And if you do not go to market and buy it and see the food, you may say you have money in millions, you can buy it. What if you go and you do not see it? You will not come and eat your money. You need food to survive. And mind you, even if you are buying it costly, mind you, other people are not having money to buy. So you are not doing them well. At the end of the day, they may decide to attack you that you are buying, because they believe that you have. So food is number one thing in life. I want us to know that farming occupation is the number one agriculture. When you go to Biblical, you discover that the first occupation God gave to humanity was agriculture. When he created man and put in the garden for those of us that were Christians. So farming is very, very important. That is why God even make it the number one occupation. God bless you.
Yeah. So finally, I would ask you before I let you off the hook.
Okay, sir.
I don't know. Are you aware of the term hydroponics?
Yes, I have been hearing of it, but I did not take time to research on it. But my simple understanding about it is farming without land.
Okay.
The farming that they use water.
Do you use water, you apply some chemicals into it and make the crop spring up?
Yes.
Now, do you think that using that technology, hydroponics, can help curb the effect of bandits going into your farm? Because with hydroponics, you can do it around your house, or you can just do it around your fenced wall, and you can actually do it either small or at a large scale. Do you think this is an encouraging technology?
Exactly, it is of course, because when you go to riverine areas in the south, most states like Bayelsa, where you have large water bodies, it is difficult for them to farm some crops. But with the aid of that technology, I believe that whatever they want to farm, they can farm. You can even farm it in your compound. You can even farm it even if you build a place, you can farm it there. Wow. So it is a very, very good technology that government can also help, and by way of publicity, there are many people that don't even know that there is anything like that. But if they come into a world of publicity, will create awareness, and then it will go a long way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Geoffrey.
You are welcome.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria. You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
All right, so we have been on with the program. One final take before we leave is that number one, money can fail. In the good book, we were told that money failed in Egypt, because it means that some persons had money but they could not buy food. Some of them went to sell themselves to the king and asked that they should be given food. Just like our guest said, if you have money and you go to the market and you can't get that food, what was the use of that money? So use your money, invest in agriculture, make sure there's food sufficiency, and see how you can as well support the government to squash the hunger. Okay, because I believe Nigerians are wealthy people. We have rich people in Nigeria. So I'm talking to you that has that money.
Green Nigeria.
Bring that money.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.